So after lying as Jeremy got caught with Sarah Ann until 5 a.m. in the morning, he's now having a conversation with his mom, trying to find some validation over his goddamn lies.
Liar!
According to Jeremy, they were hanging out till 4:30 a.m. and because he didn't want Sarah taking an Uber, he decided to take her home.
I even told Laura straight up, like, hey, here's what happened, here's the chain of events, all that stuff.
You explained it to her? You mean she caught you on a lie and you had to figure out a story to save your ass? Even mom agrees that she could have told him that he was going to be losing a fiance. Mom is even like, child, be thankful that it was not me because I would have waited up all night. Honestly, yes, I would have waited up all night and I would put a booby trap at the door. Yeah, that's what I would have done. What do you mean you were out till 5 a.m. in the morning with your ex? Sure. Now we move to Jimmy and Chelsea meeting Jimmy's parents, and right off the bat, they hit it off. Jimmy shares how much he loves Chelsea, how she's what he has been looking for, that he's ready, that he wants her, and also mentions that they have had a couple fights, but have been able to get through them.
We've had a couple fights, but it hasn't been any deal breakers.
I don't even think they've been fights. They've just been, conversations.
Conversations, Chelsea? You guys have been fighting every single night. Mom wants to know if they have talked about having children, and since they have, I wish that we touched a little more on this subject just to hear more like of their perspective and where they stand, both of them. For the next meeting, we see AD and Clay going to meet AD's mom, and she's gonna try to sell her on the idea that this man is husband material. So let me tell you about last night. I set up this romantic DIY project. I wrote down 25 reasons why she thinks that he's amazing, his favorite candy, and he didn't come home. What's up with men in this show not coming home? Seriously.
Does he work for the Secret Service or something?
Wouldn't it be nice if that was his excuse? I had forgotten what this man does for a living, but getting reminded that he's in sales and that he manages Airbnbs makes me question why he's gone so often.
This is how we connected first on entrepreneurial, business.
Maybe they should be business partners instead of a couple. And again,
I do have stuff that I struggle with, like stuff with my parents' relationship.
You now have the opportunity to do whatever you think we could have done better on.
And I'm so glad that AD's mom called him out on this because I'm genuinely tired of Clay making excuses for his future behavior because his dad did it. You can be a better man. You can take a look at those mistakes and be better. My dad used to be my mom. You don't see me beating my husband because of it. Those things don't align with each other. Also, it doesn't look like AD's mom fully knows about his loyalty problem because she never really brings it up, and she sees him as this imperfect man that needs some work. Clay steps away and AD's like, do you see how handsome he is? Do you see the potential? Girl, we see it. We know he's handsome, but you are willing to fall in love with the potential of what he's going to be instead of what he's telling you he is. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Clay. I genuinely think that he can be a better man. I genuinely think that he wants a marriage, he wants a life, he wants the kids, he wants a white picket fence, but he needs to do a lot of work. And I don't think AD should sit here and wait for him to do all these work. And yeah, the part where she's like, I would jump off a cliff without a parachute because I know he'll catch me. Girl, you're putting way too much trust on this man.
And for some strange reason, if he doesn't think that your all is enough for him, then that's not your guy. Don't knock on your door unless you're a man.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to do the work.
Preach. When AD's mom was talking to her, telling her, you're good enough, you're a woman, don't let any child knock on your door unless they're a man. I felt those words. I did feel like Clay had an answer for everything, if he had rehearsed every single word that was coming out of his mouth, and I'm just not buying it yet. The next meeting is Johnny and Amy meeting Amy's dad, and right off the bat, he wants to know about Johnny's life. The usual questions, tell me about yourself, what do you do for a living? And as a mom, when dad was talking about how the first time he dropped off Amy at the kindergarten, and he just hopes
I want somebody who come and step in and be that person the day that you're no longer be here.
It just feels so true. I always hope that my children find their person the way that I have. Someone that cares and loves them the way that their dad loves me and I love him.
Ooh, I didn't think she would say that.
Jimmy is head over heels after Chelsea met with his parents, but Chelsea is ready to throw another tantrum.
So I was so cranky with you this morning. I was like, man, I'm so mad at him, but I love him with all my heart.
So it turns out that Jimmy went out last night for one of his friend's birthday party, and he invited Chelsea, but also didn't invite her. He was like, you can come if you want to, which is not really an invite. But then also Chelsea was getting ready for bed, so that's why she decided not to go. She says that Jimmy shared in the pot that he didn't really go out. But what I think happened is him saying, I don't really go out, but I still go out.
I want you to understand where I'm at because I haven't went out in 3 months. So
Either have I.
And now Chelsea wants him to stay home 24/7 and not do anything. Her logic is, if I don't go out, you don't go out either. And let's keep in mind that this man was out for about an hour and 30 minutes, came back at a reasonable time, and told her where he was going. Chelsea feels like she's being disrespected by Jimmy, and she wants him to take a step back. So then Jimmy tells her, okay, ask me to take a step back.
right now, do you want me to take a step back?
Of course I do, and I told you that.
I'm not willing to take a step back.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Bro, why you even put it out there then? Why you even say that if that's not what you're trying, like, if that's not what you mean?
And then I find out you're with your girls? That's not cool with me. It's not cool with me.
And again, last episode, you were so cool about this man having his female friends, but now you have changed your mind. He tells her that if she's signing up for him, she's also signing up for them too. Clearly, Jimmy is upset, so he goes inside. Chelsea follows him, and she's like, are you really going to take a step back? He says, well, you communicated you're uncomfortable, but you didn't say that I couldn't hang out with her.
No, you fucked her, and you told me that.
Because I want you to trust me.
And I do trust you, but I'm uncomfortable with it.
I told you off camera that, like,
I know, but then
I don't want to talk about that.
Messy Jimmy. Maybe you should have told her you slept with one of your friends before you guys met, but at the same time, Chelsea is also friends with one of her exes. And not only that, but he also asked Chelsea to please keep this off camera, which she has now violated. This woman probably doesn't want her name, and her business airing on national TV. And there you are, doing just that. Being disrespectful. He shared this information with you because he wanted you to trust him. Now, Chelsea is fishing and saying that he was out with Jess, which is not true. Then she says, well, you said she looked like a Kardashian, which is also not true because Jeremy is the one that said that.
I was with 8 fraternity brothers and 2 of their girlfriends.
Okay. I know it was
Jacob
Jess.
Lee, West. I was not with Jazz. I've never saw Jazz.
I heard it was Jess.
Oh my goodness.
How embarrassing.
I was not with Jazz.
I was genuinely going crazy in this conversation because your partner should be able to go out with their friends and not feel like every time they do, there's going to be a fight. And not only that, but this woman was also drunk. She's beating him by telling him things like, you don't love me, I don't feel like you're dedicated to me. And at this point, I no longer think that Jimmy is the villain because Chelsea is so unreasonable. He has told her many times how he feels about her, has introduced her to his friends, has shared things that he didn't need to share with her, introduced her to his family. And of course, he has a right to be frustrated. And then when he asks her, do you think I love you? She says no. Jimmy is about to pack up his bags, but wait, because now Chelsea doesn't want him to leave.
Please don't leave. Stop. We're talking.
You ever step my boundaries?
How are you expecting Jimmy to stay while you're being totally unreasonable and a lying mess? You betrayed his trust, you undermined his feelings, and you lied about many things. The next morning, Jimmy tells her, all I wanted out of this experiment was to make you happy, to show you how much I love you.
I mean, this morning, my perspective on getting married, I decided I didn't want to.
Chelsea's like, wait, what? You say we're done? And Jimmy tells her, well, you're saying I don't love you, and even though I've been trying so hard, it just doesn't feel like I want to do this if what I'm doing is not working.
I apologize, and the things that I said were things that were bothering me and really heavy on my heart. Was my delivery good? No, not at all.
And now Chelsea's trying to pick up all the pieces, trying to make Jimmy change his mind, and then when she asked him, What do I need to do so you can be sure? Jimmy says, well, you need to not cross boundaries. And Chelsea's like, well, you too. Have you guys noticed how Chelsea constantly lies? Throws punches at him left and right, and then Love bombs him so he forgets about everything?
Man, I'm mad at you. You look good. I really like those pants.
So yeah, they shouldn't be together anymore, but here they are trying to make things work. Clay and India are talking about wedding preparations, and I guess Clay has been watching the past seasons of Love is Blind, and he's seen how a husband is supposed to come potent, mature, and ready to give it all. We hear the same thing again.
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm ever going to cheat. I think that's
I might cheat on you. I'm not ready. I don't know if I can be a husband. However, he finally says his true intentions.
For me, I just feel like love is love. Like, why does the date have to dictate our relationship?
He doesn't want to get married just yet. AD tells him, you know, I am okay with a yes or no. And if you choose to say no, I'm telling you right now, we can't date after. I came into this experiment ready to get married, not to be a long-term fiance. I don't think Clay is a bad man, like I said earlier. He's just not ready to be what AD wants him to be. It's finally time for the mixer.
Grungy of truth.
Bless.
Where the fuck is Jeremy?
Yes. I need all the answers.
Where all the girls are chit-chatting, and Amy's like, well, Johnny told me Jeremy told him that they spent the night in the parking lot talking. And then Laura is, do I think she's disrespectful? Do I think she doesn't respect women? Yes, I sure do. But he's the one that made the commitment to me. So he's the one that let me down. She also says that he didn't try to reach out to her after she left, which we find out that he did try to talk to her and that he tried to send her flowers, but she said this.
I tried sending her flowers. She's like, you don't need my address because I don't need anything from you. And then follows that up with, it sucks to know that your name went from fiance to just Jeremy in my phone.
The freaking joke that you are, Jeremy. You spent the whole night at someone else's house and you want Laura to apologize to you over her reaction? You want her to give you a reason to fight for her? When you're clearly trying to be in someone else's pants? Whatever. We get the arrival of Trevor and Jess. It was what I expected.
That's Trev. Oh my God. He's beefy.
Oh God, here we go.
Chelsea was surprised to see Matthew, and Jimmy was also surprised to see Jessica. When Jessica gets there, she also tries to go for a handshake, but Jimmy gives her, you know, a church hug. And we get this crazy edit of production trying to make us believe that all the men were looking at Jessica and that she was popping the boobs up. Like, look at them. Whatever. Now Jimmy and Jessica are off to having a conversation.
I don't know, I get nervous around you. I told you I've never dated anybody that's even remotely like you, personality-wise.
And he also says that his relationship with Chelsea has not been perfect, that they have some hurdles that they have to get through. Jessica says that when she found out he told Chelsea he loved her, she cried the most that she has ever cried her entire life. So you mean to tell me that all the trauma you have been through didn't make you cry as much as Jimmy telling some other woman that he loves him?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
I am convinced that this woman is acting at this point. Okay, because how are you still attracted to Jimmy? How are you still saying things like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, when Sarah Ann arrives and when she goes to say hi to Chelsea, the other girls say hi but then just walk away from her. I just think it's funny too how Laura gets all pissy to what Sarah Ann did, but she actively encourages Jessica to go talk to Jimmy. Trevor and Chelsea are about to have a conversation where she tells him that she wouldn't have picked him if he went first, which is a lie, and he lies by saying that Chelsea was the first person that he looked up when he got his phone. Sure, Trevor. Like, we didn't see those messages already. Whatever you say. Trevor, again with his lies, now tells her that he constantly thinks about her. And of course, that Chelsea thinks about him too.
I'm glad you kept the bracelet.
Yeah.
I have mine still.
You want us to... We need the app. Listen, Jimmy, I'm thinking of your fiance.
Chelsea yells, have you met our strongest couple yet? Referring to Amy and Johnny, and Jimmy right away is like, no, they're not. We are. The amount of time we fight, that's what makes us the strongest couple. Don't you get it? Every time you cry, your tears makes us stronger, Chelsea. We all know who the strongest couple is. So let's move on to Laura and Jeremy.
I made it pretty well known the other day that I was pretty upset with some of the things that was said, and I said I wanted to try. I was 100% ready to try.
He tells her, you sent me a rude message when I tried to send you flowers, and you also said, it sucks to know your name changed from fiance to Jeremy. Laura calls him out and says, I said no thank you, but Jeremy is going to disagree.
I said no thank you. And I even misspelled
You did not say
it.
it. You did. Okay.
Pull the text up right now, because I'm fucking tired of you doing this bullshit.
Pull up the messages. Let us see them. Come on. Laura tells him, you came in here with the wrong intentions, with zero maturity, and not only that, but you have feelings for someone else that you still haven't fully processed. Laura says, fine, I'll get my stuff tomorrow, but the joke is on her because he already packed her shit. He was not having it. Jeremy is way too concerned, trying to make things look civil between them at the gathering. Like, bro, your engagement just ended and you're more concerned about keeping the peace around everyone than remending yourself for what you did. But again, Laura gives zero fucks. There's no way that she's gonna have a civil conversation with this man. So she tells him this.
Go kick rocks with open-toed fucking shoes.
So AD has decided to take it upon herself and do Vanessa's job and ask the questions to Sarah Ann that she's probably not going to ask. Sarah Ann thinks that Jeremy not giving her a real answer as to why he didn't pick him is leaving the door open. And this is why she chose to send the messages. The message. She also says that Jeremy told her that if she would have ever told him that she wanted him and gave him a reason why, that would have changed his decision.
So moving forward,
Correct.
to last weekend,
That I do want to talk about.
Of course, AD brings up the bar night, and Sarah says that the only reason why he showed her location is because he dropped her off later that evening. You mean later that morning? She says that she doesn't want to be in a love triangle, but she is in a love triangle. It just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
So you knew they were engaged.
I knew they were
when you sent
engaged.
the DM.
Correct.
And you just...
Sarah feels like that was a well thought message, and AD tells her, I hear you, boo, but that's kind of crazy. I'm not mad about Sarah Ann sending the messages. I understand that she wanted to express her feelings. She wanted closure. What I'm mad about is her spending an entire night with Jeremy and thinking she did nothing wrong. Even if nothing happened, who's going to believe you?
I can't believe you've done this.
Or all the homewreckers out there that think that they're doing nothing wrong and that the only person doing something wrong is the man. Let me tell you one thing. There is a special place for you. A very special place for you. And I just don't get it. My dad cheated on my mom. The woman knew about my mother. She knew about my mother since the beginning. And she still chose to pursue this relationship over and over again. And she never showed any shame. And don't get me wrong, I think my dad was in the wrong for doing this. But how can you get with a married man knowing that he has 2 children, knowing that he has a wife waiting for him at home? So I honestly have no sympathy for Sarah Ann when it comes to this. And I also have no sympathy for Jeremy.
I'm not here to interrogate you, but
I feel like you are interrogating me, though, kind of, you know?
if you feel interrogated, that's on you, baby.
Is it?
It is.
I really love this line from AD because, girlie, if you feel that way, it's because you know you did something wrong. But now, poor baby Sarah feels hurt and is going to go cry to Jeremy.
Did you think it was bad?
I didn't think it was bad.
And of course, he doesn't think that the messages were bad. You know why? Because he's looking for the opportunity to be with her. And of course, he's not going to ruin that chance that he's getting. You both deserve each other. Sarah says that she fully embraced the experiment.
I fully embraced the experience, right? I fully did exactly what I needed to do for me, for the reason that I came here, which was to meet the love of my life.
That she doesn't want to be painted out to be that person, but she is that person. And according to her, love is messy, difficult, and beautiful. So why not talk to an engaged man? And when all that being said, he says this.
I made the wrong decision in the pots. And I think you know that at this point.
So throw those two in the trash can where they belong. I also wanted to point out how the girls were very distant to Sarah and how even the man didn't seem to acknowledge her. But I don't think that Jeremy got as much heat or got the same treatment as she did. And he's the real person that we should be coming for. I feel really bad for Laura because she's right to feel betrayed and disrespected by those two snakes. But she also needs to stop being a two-face. You can't say that it's okay when it happens to other women, but it's not okay when it happens to you. And the rest of the episode was kind of fillers. We got the couples going on their last dates. Clay took AD to this romantic restaurant and everything. Chelsea and Jimmy went to do like this ice sculpture, and then Johnny and Amy went camping. Now, I did forget about this conversation that happened between Amy and Johnny where they decided that they're not going to do the vasectomy because Johnny didn't know to what extent vasectomies can be reversible, but not all the time. So of course now he's thinking about the situation. So they have agreed that Amy is probably going to get on birth control. So that's where we left off on that. Everyone goes to try on their dresses and their suits. AD looked incredibly gorgeous. The dress was giving, AD was giving. I didn't really like the bell with like the wording on it, "Till Death Do Us Apart," but the dress was amazing. Amy looked gorgeous. She looked gorgeous.
You look like Cinderella.
Yeah.
And Chelsea too. The dress that she was wearing was very, very pretty. So next week we are going to be able to see the finale, and then a week from that we get the reunion. My predictions, because I forgot to put them on last episode, but I'll say them right now. I think that AD is going to say yes and Clay is going to say no. I think that between Johnny and Amy, it could go either way. One of them is gonna say no. I don't think they're gonna get married. And then for Amy and Johnny, they're gonna be the only couple walking out of here in a relationship. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making it to the end. To all the new people, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. I've tried really hard to be able to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can finally make some money out of my videos, because currently I don't make any money out of it. I just make it because I enjoy it. So I would really appreciate if you guys can subscribe. If you're watching this, you will literally make my day. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great day and see you next time. Bye.